So former Veterans Affairs Minister Johnny Mercer's wife says that she has no regrets over calling Ms Truss an imbecile for ousting her husband from his role, even going as far as tweeting a photo of a Muppet.
Was she right and loyal and dedicated to intervene? Or should partners pipe down and let their other half do the talking?
Well, joining us now, we have Christine Hamilton, the wife of UKIP leader Neil Hamilton, and broadcaster Rachel Johnson in the studio. Christine, we've known you as your husband's partner, very loyal, very supportive for many years, but you feel like actually overstepping the line and getting involved in scenarios such as their political career is something that you don't like.
Well, I think Felicity is obviously a wonderful battle axe, and I applaud that. And loyalty is a very much underrated virtue, which I also applaud. Loyalty is extremely important, but she's not the elected MP. And I just think on this occasion, of course, she's very hurt and upset that her husband has lost his job, but nobody has a right to a ministerial job. I just feel that dignity in defeat would have been a little more wise, and I think she was a bit naive. And she's a bit self-indulgent, to be honest, to go on Twitter and call her party leader and her husband's ultimate boss not just an imbecile, but also a liar. And I just think she should have kept her counsel, frankly. I understand why she felt as she did, but I think she's gone too far. And also one has to remember that loyalty goes both ways in politics. Johnny Mercer is not the MP for Plymouth because he's Johnny Mercer. He's there because he stood under the Tory banner and his vote went up at the last election. It more than doubled, which you might call the Boris bounce. So he owes a loyalty to the party. And I just think that discretion would have been the better part on this occasion for Felicity. But because I do understand why she's done it, but I just don't think it was right on this occasion.
Well, let's bounce over to a Johnson now and speak to Rachel Johnson. You vehemently disagree.
Well, actually, I think that Christine made a lot of very good points about loyalty, and you're not entitled to high office, you have to earn it. And also that an MP owes a lot, a huge amount to the party and to the team around him. That all those things are true. I didn't see in the tweet that Felicity, Mrs Mercer, had called the Prime Minister a liar. And I do think that is stepping across the line, because it's when people say liar or lazy that I get triggered myself. And I have to sort of, you know, about my own brother who was Prime Minister. Those are the times where I just kind of, I never tweet, but I try and reserve my pushback to when I'm on my own radio show. So on Felicity Mercer, I think she follows in the distinguished footsteps of someone like a commentator like Sarah Vine, who, when her husband, Michael Gove, was sacked, don't you remember, she tweeted a shabby day's work that Cameron will live to regret. And, you know, I think that the country completely understands her raging, you know, lioness-like loyalty to her husband. Don't forget, she's going to have to live with Johnny Mercer and his wonderful hair and his deflated ego for the next 6 months.
Which she's equally as cruel about, by the way. I mean, clearly they are very close, and she's merciless with him as well, and he has done a brilliant job. I wonder, though, what Sarah Vine tweeted seemed considered and politically sort of motivated. What Johnny Mercer's wife seemed to be was much more personal, the way that she...
Hurt?
Yeah. I mean, you could tell that there was real pain in that.
I think you could, and I think that's why it has had such incredible cut-through, because, you know, she isn't an elected politician herself. Her Twitter handle actually says, mum of 3 girls, wife of Johnny Mercer MP. That is clearly her identity. And so when Johnny Mercer was sacked as Minister for Veterans, I think she took it very personally, and I see absolutely nothing wrong in showing that these sorts of decisions have personal consequences.
Christine, can I just establish, did you say that it was unforgivable that she'd called the Prime Minister a liar? Because I can't see that accusation in the tweet.
What she did was, first of all, the other thing that she did was she revealed a private, confidential conversation, and she put in a tweet the conversation, and what she accused Liz Truss of lying about was when Liz Truss said words to the effect that the Veterans Affairs aren't going anywhere. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be put in the hands of another veteran, because James Heapy, after all, is another veteran, so there's no reason to suppose he's not going to be just as dedicated. They aren't going anywhere, and she said that was a lie. Well, it wasn't a lie. The Veterans' Affairs are still there. They're still in the hands of a veteran. What I think I don't understand about all this is that what she's done, it doesn't hurt Liz Truss at all, even though she portrayed her in a rather extraordinary way as a Muppet cartoon. But it doesn't help Johnny Mercer. And Felicity's been involved, as I was all those years, working for Neil. She works for Johnny. She's absolutely there. Day in, day out. She's completely immersed in it. So no wonder she feels it so deeply. But, perhaps she should. She's obviously a very feisty woman. As I said at the beginning, she's a battle axe, and she's got an amazing person to have with you fighting alongside you. Perhaps she should stand for election.
We love frankly. A battle axe. Christine, Rachel, thank you both very much indeed. I think it's telling that Johnny Mercer himself tweeted, "I will be spending time with my family and doing no media requests."